Hello, fellow nerds. Before we get into this week's episode, I'm afraid to tell you that Ben was unable to make the recording due to unforeseen circumstances. However, we managed to contact his lawyer before the episode aired, and this is what he had to say for himself.
Hope you're both well, but I'm afraid I won't be able to join you for the podcast today. I'm in a bit of a pickle. Basically, went to a party last night. Wasn't invited, but I turned up anyway. After 3 cans of Stella, 1 old speckled hen and 3 lines of Kett, I completely collapsed in Patricia's house. Woke up, helped myself to a bit of her tea, left the house and realised with horror I'd sent some very threatening emails to BBC Gardeners World. And basically, I'd revealed my address. And of course, as we know, BBC have got some considerable resources at their disposal, including a private army and a lot of wheelbarrows. They can make anyone disappear. They've got the know-how and they're great at composting. So lads, I'm on my way to the Forest of Dean right now with a backpack and a couple of lines just to wait for this all to blow over. And hope to see you both soon. I'll see you on the other side. Love you both.
Anyway, I'm sure he's fine. Tune in next week to see if he makes it back. And in the meantime, let's get on with the episode. Welcome to the Nerds Against Normality podcast. I'm Stacey Bowles, and did you know I escaped the original Titanic? I'm here with Harry Bowles, and he put on his Sonic shoes and managed to outrun Pompeii.
Good morning.
And we have a first for this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ben Sheridan has gone AWOL, so we have 2 very special guests joining us. So I'm also here with Vic Francis. She was spun around in a twister, but she came out with sparkly red shoes on.
Hi!
And Rob Francis, who swam away from Jaws. I think all his limbs are intact.
Just about.
So, Vic and Rob, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us. We're very excited. Long-time listeners, first time, calling us.
I should say, just before we get into things, Harry, you feeling okay?
I'm feeling okay now, thank you. Now I'm on the antibiotics. I went to the doctors because I got busted nards.
Oh, his balls hurt.
Yeah. If you've seen the little short we did the other day where I wished for my testicles to be the same size, that wish still stands.
Rough.
Yeah.
Okay, Godspeed. Godspeed. We want to get to know you both a little bit better, so tell us, what is the nerdiest thing that you are into?
So it's got to be Harry Potter.
Nice, yeah.
For those of you that have not heard about Harry Potter, it's a little known book that was released, I believe, in 1998, the first one, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It's about a little boy who finds out he's a wizard, and then chaos erupts, and he's not very good at maintaining it, and he needs a very bright young friend to help him get through all of his escapades.
Are you talking about Ron's hair?
I'm talking about Hermione being the brightest witch of her class, and his best friend Ron, who's there to hold his hand.
Dirty mudblood.
Oh.
Oh,
now.
Dirty mugs.
I do fondly remember when the 6th book came out, or the 5th or the 6th book, we queued up at midnight in our dressing gowns.
That's right. I think it was the 7th, wasn't it?
I can't remember, it might have been.
This wasn't it? This is how nerdy we are. It was after prom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Prom had finished, and then we went into town all dressed up in our Gryffindor clothes.
Yeah.
And got the book.
Yeah.
Good times.
Rob, what's the nerdiest thing you're into?
Actually, well, see now, the nerdiest thing I do is research. I can't buy something over the value of about £100 without doing about 7 or 8 months worth of research to find out if I've got the right one. Like, I've been wanting a sound bar for roughly a
6
decade.
years.
For as long as we've been living together, he has wanted a soundbar.
Yeah.
And we've lived together for 11 years.
Yeah.
And you still don't have one?
Well, it's a combination of over-researching and being poor.
Okay.
So it's not just, yeah. But no, the nerdiest thing I'm into is my leatherworking, because it comes...
Bondage.
Yeah. It comes with lots of tools and lots of stuff and lots of numbers, and you can just sort of like get really into it.
Okay, so into movies. What are your top 3 films?
Do you know each other's?
I don't know which of the 8 Harry Potter films Vic has chosen.
It doesn't have to be in order.
But no, mine are...
Can I guess one of them?
I'll go for it, yeah.
Is one of them Shaun of the Dead?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know my husband.
No, so number 3, Harry Brown.
Oh, okay.
Michael Caine,
Yeah.
just being an old evil man. Well, not evil.
It's just, I think it's
vengeful.
justified. Yeah.
It's brilliant. I remember watching it at the cinema and just sort of like, it was one of those films where, because I was doing film studies at the time, I was very critical of everything, very sort of looking at everything. It was one of those films where I didn't have a critical eye on it. I just sat there and watched it and enjoyed it and got bought in. And that was difficult for me at the time. I was always sort of looking at something or other on the screen.
Wanting to pick holes.
Yeah, wanting to pick holes, or like even sort of enjoying, like, oh, that's really well shot, or that's, there was nothing. It was just a story that I fully involved in and enjoyed, and came out the other end and just didn't want to speak to anyone, just wanted to sit in my own enjoyment of it.
Do you want to find some chavs?
Yeah.
Kick the shit out of them.
I kept on going into subways and just like trying to get pickpocketed or mugged, just so I could go on a vengeful rage.
Nice, okay.
Yeah. 2 is Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, again, just an amazing story, but there's quite a large permafrost around my heart and my feelings. Don't let them get through very often. Don't want them to get through. That's not for anybody else, they're for me. But yeah, no, that broke me. The sort of zero dialogue when he gets offered the job and it pans back and there's just all the noise of the office and everything. You just see him breaking down in the boardroom. That's a strong scene. Yeah.
Is that the Will Smith one?
Will Smith, yeah, where
Yeah.
he's single dad trying to get a job.
Yeah.
He's selling the portable X-rays. Is that what it is, or something like that?
Some sort of imaging
Hospital
that is
equipment.
kind of on its way out technologically, but he's still trying to sell them because he's bought them and he has to sell them. Blah blah.
He
And
did
he's
a couple of heartbreaking films at that time. I think he
£7.
did- Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Not Wild Wild
okay.
West then.
Well, keep it light, Rob.
I mean,
That's sad for different reasons. Yeah.
Wild West is it's just Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. The last one is really easy, Endgame.
Oh,
nice.
favourite.
But it's not like the top,
Okay,
But
Do you not feel that Endgame though is aided by all that comes with it?
Yeah.
If you hadn't watched the build-up, maybe you wouldn't enjoy it as much. But maybe that's why you enjoyed it so much.
That's
because you
why-
was reeled in and hooked for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. I always say this because I'm a man in his mid-30s who still likes superhero films. The first superhero film I watched was X-Men at my friend's 11th birthday at a sleepover. And I've gone on that journey for 24 years.
You're basically Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. But I'm closer to the 5'5" of Wolverine than I am to the 6'4" of Hugh Jackman, or however tall he is. Yeah.
Good, Vic.
Oh, my films are not anywhere near as involved for reasons of loving them as Rob's are. Coming in at number 3 is Mean Girls. Mean Girls, it's an absolute classic. It's quotable, it's funny, it's got excellent fashion, and now it's a musical. What more can a girl want from a film? It's
That's
Lindsay
true.
Lohan at her best. It's just brilliant. And I quote it almost weekly. I wouldn't say daily, but weekly it comes out.
You were quite surprised at how funny it was when you watched it.
Yeah, because as we all know, women can't be funny. It's a running joke. It's a running joke. It's a running joke. That cool, guys. Let's go. But no, I was surprised. You put it on, and I'd never seen it, and you was like, "It's a classic. You have to watch it." So we watched it, and it was good. I have to say, I would recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, get a pedicure on.
Face mask,
Face mask, feet in the old spa. Yeah,
some
done.
sparkling rosé.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob loves a rosé. He's rosé all day. He
I
loves
am
to say
rosé.
that.
Rosé.
That's what he says every morning.
Yeah. Summer solstice rocks around. Rosé all day.
Yeah, Rob didn't want to be here. He just thought it was an AA meeting.
Yeah.
We've conned him.
This is the weirdest intervention there's ever been.
We're coming to you live.
Okay, what's your second?
The second is Harry Potter.
As its entirety.
As its entirety story, it's got its highs, it's got its lows.
Right, quick mini question.
Sure.
What is the lowest? What's the worst film of the 8?
Oof.
And what is the best of the 8?
So I reckon the best film is probably 8. Because
Ooh.
like Rob with Endgame, you have worked up to that. Plus, Molly Weasley calls Bellatrix a bitch, and that was just completely through us all when we watched that. So I'd say that was the best one. The worst one, and I know lots of people love it, was Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban.
way.
Yeah, I know, big words.
No. I have to really disagree with you. I think the 6th
By all means.
film is terrible, particularly because of Ginny Weasley.
or when it looks like she's going to give Harry a blowjob in the.
I'm sorry, what?
We've watched different.
Room of
that is-
requirement.
that is-
Or is that number 7?
That is a different.
She bends down to tie a shoelace and it's really awkward and it's
yeah,
like she's going to
yeah.
get annoyed. Oh, it's really cringy.
I just felt like in the
Cringy
books
gingy.
she was so awesome and everyone fancies her and she's like really confident and great and funny, and then we come to the movies and
She's a bit wet, isn't she?
There's just no.
After the
She
shoot.
is
I meant that. I meant wet blanket.
yeah.
Don't know if that's any better.
We'll move swiftly on. What's your number one?
My number 1, my all-time favourite film, can watch it in any mood, is Pitch Perfect.
Nice. Similar theme to Mean Girls.
Yeah. Yeah, Pitch Perfect, about a young group of a cappella ladies and they're taking on all the other colleges.
Your list is very white. Just gonna throw that out there.
Unintentionally. Yeah, and who doesn't like to sing along and do the dance at the end? It's great.
All right. So we've also asked you for your top 3 TV shows. What do you got, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, again, sort of a bit of a. It's hard, isn't it? Because there's a lot. But
And so my favourite TV show is BBC News.
yeah.
Teletext page 400.
Yeah.
Crap.
Oh man, I used to love the rolling football scores. What a rush! Black books.
Nice. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
love
So I
Black
think a lot of
Books.
people won't know that. So go into Black Books.
Okay. So it's a bookshop run by a man who doesn't want to own a bookshop or a shop or
Exist.
do anything. Exist. He doesn't want people in his life, but he loves books, so he has a bookshop. And then Bill Bailey turns up as a very stressed out executive, and he needs the little book of calm to help him calm down. So he buys it and he's reading it, and then he accidentally swallows it, and then he just becomes really chilled out. And rather than going back to his executive job, he becomes his assistant. And then they just go through life together as like an
Like
odd
a couple.
It's an odd
Yeah.
couple sort of set up. And Bernard Black is the owner of the shop, and he's a terrible human. He's not nice. He's not useful. He's not.
He's just perma angry, isn't
He's
he?
just permanently very angry. Yeah, and it's just a beautiful odd couple TV show with
It's really
just some
funny.
fantastic comedy.
Yeah.
It's great British humour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, drinking a lot of wine, mainly red.
Yeah.
We're into the darker times at the moment. The dark times, winter, some people call it. So I've shifted from my rosé to my red.
Nice.
So this is it's a good show. If we're going to do wine pairings with shows, I'm pretty sure you could get a decent one out of that. Mad Men would be number 2.
Never seen it.
Have you not?
Oh, neither of you.
So they're Madison Avenue men.
Okay.
They're advertisers on Madison Avenue, and it's all about this one guy, Don Draper. They follow him from his, like, he's an executive, or he's quite high up. He becomes a partner. There's lots of inside trading. There's lots of like stabbing in the back. It's very similar to the sort of politics of like Succession or Suits, where people are always trying to like get one over or become the best, that sort of thing. And it's
How many seasons are there?
4 or 5.
I think there's 4.
And it's done?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been over for
You'd recognise
decades.
loads
okay.
of people in it.
Yeah, John Hamm's in it. He's
Okay,
Don
yeah,
Draper.
yeah.
Quite a few people in it.
Yeah, it's brilliant and it's beautiful, and it follows some advertising campaigns. So like Lucky Strike, they basically everything good that happened in that era of advertising. They sort of went, "Oh, Don Draper came up on that," and it's just like, "No, I don't think he did." I don't think.
A bit like Peaky Blinders, how Shelby he confronts every mafia, and you're like, I don't think that's how it went down.
He's either very lucky or very talented, and I don't think either one.
Okay. What's your third?
Third,
Could you imagine if it was Peaky Blinders?
What a
segue.
Well, I didn't really. Those are sort of the top 2 that came to my mind straight away. I think everything else sort of blurs into one, and then you sort of go, actually, no, the thing that you rewatch is probably the one that it has to go on there. But that can be one of several. So we're all on the same level: Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Scrubs.
Oh, okay.
They're those
nice.
3
Bingeable.
Bingeable. Just go back, drop in at any point. If it's on the TV, it's on the TV. It stays on. That sort of thing. Yeah. No, if I was going to pick one, probably be Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, nice, okay. Yeah.
The amount of times I say, like, it has to be.
Yeah. It's
Hulk
just a-
is the best character, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you love it.
Well, Hulk with Jake.
When you said that, I thought you said Hulk, and I was like...
The Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll start talking about the Hulk.
Hulk arrest! That famous catchphrase.
So, Vic,
Well, see, this is I found this one hard. I found this as the hardest question because all I do is watch TV. Mm-hmm. It is. I love.
Vic has been unemployed for 9 years.
In number 3, I've got Friends. I love Friends. Mm-hmm. I have friends. I'm so lucky. Unlike Rob, it's. You can laugh at almost every episode when Joey learns to speak French. Absolutely ludicrous, but it is so funny that it never gets old. And again, it's another thing that's really quotable, and it's another thing that almost everybody has watched and enjoyed. So it's a common. It's a thing that you can find in common.
I've never actually seen it.
No, that's a lie.
Get in the bit.
I know your lies.
I have seen it.
only recently, though.
I mean, it was about 5 years ago.
When we were in New York, we went to the building and we were all underwhelmed by it.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, they didn't film here. Oh, that's cool.
Here's just the shot.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, it's Schitt's Creek.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Love Schitt's Creek.
Never seen it.
Or you're missing out, in my opinion, because it's my number 2.
I have heard it's awesome.
It's Eugene Levy, the dad from American Pie, and it's his real life son, Dan Levy. They wrote this together. So their family, the Shit family, are really rich. He runs a company, and then his partner dobs him into the FBI. I don't know. It's not really important, is it?
His partner commits a lot of fraud and then leaves him with nothing, runs off and leaves him with, gets arrested. Leaves him with nothing apart from.
So it turns out that somewhere along the lines, he bought a town called Schitt's Creek. And
You've bought a town.
yeah,
We've all been there.
Call it Schitt's Creek, or is that what it's called?
That's what the TV show is called, and it's now called. The town is called Schitt's Creek as well, isn't it? Or they name it Schitt's Creek when they leave.
I think it's called Schitt's Creek, and he buys it for the lols because it's called Schitt's Creek for David for his 18th or something. I think it's a present for the son.
Do you know what? We've both. Yes, you're absolutely right. But their surname is Rose. The mayor is called something shit.
Yeah, because it's Rose Video, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh well, I've completely fucked this up, if you will. I've not really told you anything.
Considering it's your second favourite
I know,
show.
because it's not relevant. It's like the first 2 minutes of the first episode, and they move into Schitt's Creek, and they move into this motel that he owns as part of owning the town, and then it's about them learning how to live life with nothing. David, that is played by Dan Levy, and then they've got Alexis, and they're just great. They're brats, and then they learn to evolve and they learn to live in the town, and it is very funny.
Is it finished as well?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
How many seasons did you say?
3.
3, okay.
Oh, quite short then for American.
Yeah.
Normally they
All
milk that.
And number
day.
3.
Taskmaster.
Oh,
okay. Nice.
The English version?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be
Obviously.
Taskmaster. Yeah. I've heard you guys talk about Taskmaster in your podcast. We all went to the Taskmaster experience together. Mm-hmm. Just loved it. I love it. It's the best TV show on telly.
If people haven't listened to our episodes before, and how dare you, for our overseas listeners, tell us what Taskmaster is.
Taskmaster is a TV show hosted by a comedian called Greg Davies with his sidekick called Alex Horn. And each series they get 5 comedians to take part in tasks, each with point value depending on how well they do. And then at the end they win a trophy of Greg's head. It sounds very basic, but a lot of effort goes into it.
Yeah.
Lots of tasks are made, lots of props.
Who would be the next 5 contestants? You have a magic wand. You get to pick.
I get to pick.
Who are you picking?
I would have Jeremy from Peep Show in it.
Oh, that'd be a good shout. Go on.
I would like Miranda Hart. I think she'd be a bit like Lisa Tarbuck. Lisa Tarbuck was in the previous series. I would also like Richard Ayoade. I think he would be great. It doesn't help that I've forgotten his name, but your man that goes, Father! From the It Crowd.
Yes.
Matt Berry.
Matt Berry. Yeah, good shout.
He'd be great.
What about higher budget? Would you go like Jimmy Carr?
No, I don't like Jimmy Carr.
No, fair enough.
No, it gets on my nerves.
agree.
Would you use a magic wand to bring Sean Locke back?
He was going to be my next person.
Oh, damn,
Yes.
I don't think he'd do that well with tasks.
But he'd be hilarious.
As in, he can't...
Being dead?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And if we're bending all rules here, I want Tim Key to come back and do it again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that's the bigger rule bend than reanimating.
Yeah, because he's already been in it, so like he can't come back because he didn't win it. So
that
he can't be
seems
champion.
That's the one that seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yes, I would like Tim Key to come back and do it again because he only got 5 episodes, and the latest series are longer episodes.
I would like to see some of the early series like come back and be made.
Greatest hits of Taskmaster or something.
That'd be good.
So, moving on to the next segment.
Yep.
What are your top 3 games of Victoria?
Right. I have a very special way of playing any game that is a shooty game. I smash all the buttons and I'm clapping for emphasis.
Yeah.
And then I throw the remote and give it to Rob and make Rob complete it for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
Have that Issy fit.
I second this, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to walk around and look at the scenery and have a nice time. Yeah. Which is why Animal Crossing is one of my games.
Nice.
I like walking around. I like making things pretty.
Yeah.
I like not having to worry about shooting spiders and bad guys and things. Yeah, I'm not any good at first-person shooters. Just it's too many things to look. And when you play things like Call of Duty, how you can see things really, really far away that are really, really, really tiny, and you can spin the joysticks around, and you're not making yourself dizzy or sick.
You are making yourself sound older.
I am old. I cannot do it. And I just...
To be fair,
On the telly box.
You young'uns.
it's not just on games where I see things further away than you, though, is it?
It's so real life.
Yeah.
But do you still play Animal Crossing now? Because there was a sweet spot during COVID where I think everybody was playing Animal Crossing. I know we certainly were as friends. Do you still play it now?
I haven't played it in a really long time because I don't have the time to.
Yeah.
Which is pants. Because it's a sit-down, long investment in time, whereas lots of other games are quick and over within like half an hour, whereas Animal Crossing, you can put hours into it.
I remember the levels you got to, because I didn't play it, but you was obsessed. And I remember, Alec had a Excel spreadsheet for like
the
turnip prices and stuff.
Oh my God,
And you were like,
didn't
oh
it
God, it's a good time to sell. Sell.
It's a serious business, Animal Crossing. It gets stressful.
Yeah, I was sitting there drinking my 3 p.m. whiskey. Wondering what the hell's going on.
It's a lovely accompaniment to the 2 p.m. whiskey.
And my morning whiskey.
Well, my mornings were spent teaching online whilst Rob was playing Call of Duty.
Psychology, yeah.
With the morning whiskey.
In the background, and I had to keep telling him to be quiet because I was trying to teach.
Yeah. It's okay when you're berating children on Call of Duty, but not when you're berating
IRL. It's different, yeah.
Apparently on Zoom to a class full of 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Apparently that's not okay, and endangers her job. Whatever.
We can't talk about Animal Crossing without mentioning a very good friend of ours, Hannah. Hannah's Animal Crossing world was just spectacular. The amount of detail that went in there was impressive.
Got a bit controversial when she built a Trump Tower. That was a weird.
The Golden Wall.
Yeah. Split the
Look,
island.
you get out, Tom Nook.
Split the island in 2 at one point. That was odd.
What is your second game?
My second game is, again, I've copped out here. I'm just going to go Jackbox as a whole concept. It's a collection of mini games that you play with friends, mostly about lying and trying to make your friends laugh.
Yeah, it's a great one because you can just sit down and play it on your phone. So, like, if you've got parents and things that don't play games, I think it's everyone can play this game.
I think what you have to appreciate about Jackbox is that it starts off nice and friendly, and by like round 3, 9/11's thrown in there, Ben's mum, nothing is safe.
Yeah, there's a lot of... The drawing ones are like, there's Pictionary type ones, aren't there? And I'm rubbish at those because, I've got hands that just cannot do the finite details on a phone screen. So, yeah, but I really enjoy Jackbox.
To be fair, sometimes simple picture's the best, right? Stay Space is a great example.
Yeah,
Oh,
Stay
yes,
Space, yeah.
Still got that t-shirt.
We'll put that on the socials.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Beauty.
Okay, and your third game.
So my third game is actually a board game this time.
Oh, wow.
And it's a game called Werewolf,
Nice.
where those of you sat around the table, some of you are werewolves, some of you are villagers, and you have to work out who the werewolves are. If you've ever watched Traitors on TV, I assume it's based on that board game because I'm pretty sure the game came out before the TV show.
It's kind of like Wink Murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can add in more characters that come up with more skills to enhance the game, or sometimes ruin the game pretty quickly if you get caught out trying to use your skill. Again, more lying to your friends and more making your friends laugh. It's great.
It's a good game because I do particularly poorly in it because none of our friends trust me. Every single time we play, it's like, oh yeah, Rob's probably a werewolf. It's like it's the first round.
I'm not even playing.
yeah. I was getting drinks. Very untrustworthy.
You're obsessed with the full moon.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very wolfish behaviour.
Yeah. I've got that. Yeah, I've got that cage that I sleep in sometimes.
Okay, good games. Rob, what you got?
Well, Vic's mentioned it. Call of Duty. Like, has to be in there.
Any particular?
Not really. If I'm 100%
Whatever
honest.
one's the newest.
Yeah, whatever's there. Because it's for me it's a shut off game. It's just a sort of, if you've got 20 minutes, if you've got an hour, you just sit down there, you just run and gun and sort of, like I say, abuse people online for not being as good as you, or
if they are better.
or if they're better than you.
You've got
being
to
like,
blame
oh, yeah,
lag.
that's his name,
You've got no. If they beat you, like, oh, you basement dweller. You got no life. You're trash.
yeah, exactly.
Do you play it online mostly?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, you've got that's the thing. The actual storyline game now
Is it even a thing?
I think it was on the last one. I think, yeah, but
I've just given up on it. Nobody
Yeah.
plays it for the story.
I remember years ago it came out, and then me and the boys literally took a day off and just sort of were like, oh yeah, let's play this, let's get some beers in, blah, blah, blah. It took us like 5 hours to go through the story, and we're like, oh, okay, cool, done.
It's an afterthought.
It's an afterthought, and now all the whole thing is online, and but yeah, like I say, it's just a thing to do and turn off for a bit. And
Do you still play with the guys?
no.
No.
We've all gone separate different consoles, and
The divide.
yeah, the great divide.
What console are you?
I'm an Xbox.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
Because that's the first one I actually bought myself. When I was at uni, I bought an Xbox because it was on sale.
You've just been loyal ever since.
Since then, I just went with it. I don't really care about which is which is not particularly nerdy.
I would just like to say, as soon as you said Call of Duty, I sensed Harry's pain because
The testicles flared.
Yeah.
It's everything that I hate about gaming
Right.
is in Call of Duty. And I play Rocket League, which again, on paper, is exactly the same game.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
it's
his number
just-
2.
No.
Yeah. I play it and it just it kills creativity because they release effectively the same game every year.
Sure.
And the trouble is that the second you buy number 3, number 2 is redundant, right?
Yeah.
You're chucking it away.
Oh,
like
yeah,
FIFA, you would buy the new one, and now the old one's redundant. Now, you play like a Legend of Zelda, you could still go back to Ocarina of Time, which is like 25 years of age, or you could play Tears of the Kingdom, which is the newest one. They're both relevant, and I think that's what makes gaming so charming.
Okay. Charming.
Okay.
Great use of the word.
So no pressure. What's your second game?
Call of Duty. It's Battlefield. Red Alert 2.
Come on and conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good game.
Yeah, this goes back to the sort of, it tells you how much back pain I have and how many supplements I have to take now. So that took up about 30 to 40% of my childhood. Because just
What did you play it on? PC?
PC, yeah.
Master raced it.
Yeah, it's just so good. And again, that was another game where you could just you could do a skirmish, or you could try and take over the whole world. It's just fantastic. And you play as the allies of the communists. So,
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. And just fantastic playing as a communist with the old mind control. Fantastic Tesla foils. Brilliant. Linking them up, creating a perimeter. Oh, mate.
It's so
on.
satisfying when you just
Come
see
on.
their troops walking and they're just like just
Oh yeah, get
flying.
like absolutely frying up an entire legion of troops.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that it's not about. I do not think Command & Conquer would be a perfect mobile game.
I think it is now.
Well,
I think you can
they've
get on
bloody
that.
done it then, haven't they?
Yeah, they did. That's it, boys. Pack it up. We're done.
Did they not call you about it?
No, apparently not. I just.
We must alert Harry.
It's the ideal format for a freemium game, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's what again it's just one of those things which is so replayable, and yeah, it just makes you feel good when you play it, and spend hours on it and so yeah, I've put in a good shift. I've done a
Equally
good
though, if you put hours into it and then you get wiped, heartbreak.
Yeah, it's the end of your week.
Yeah.
Like, that's done. It's like you're not getting anything else done that week.
Okay, and your third?
Mario Kart. Done.
Nice,
Yeah.
okay.
Any particular?
Well, I don't know. Well, we've got 8, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's got to be 8.
That's
Yeah.
the definitive one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd
Would
say
you
so.
Yeah. This might hurt you a little bit. Didn't grow up with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't grow up with any Nintendo.
He was a Sony boy.
I was a Sony boy. I had a Game Boy, which I solely played Pokemon on.
Of course.
Yeah. And that was the only Nintendo that I had. Even before that, when my brother had a Game Boy, I had a Game Gear.
Yes.
Yes,
Represent.
mate. Yeah.
How did it feel having 58 batteries in your console?
Oh, mate, I was 6 years old. I had the biceps of a Gold's Gym member. It was amazing. I was absolutely ripped. No, it was the best handheld portable console that you could never get more than 4 foot away from a plug from.
No.
Because that's how long the cable was. And you had to plug it. If you wanted to play anything, you had to, for a long time, you had to do that.
I'll stand by it. Ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8, though, love it or hate it, isn't it? Because we've all been there when you're at the finish line and you're getting blue shelled, and then you drop to last. And then, not so much love for the game.
Well, I don't think you have to lose love of the game. You have to lose love of the person that's blue shelled you.
Oh, right, okay.
Because
I'm sorry about that.
that's fine. That's
Don't
fine.
hate the game, hate the player.
Yeah.
Famous phrase.
Yeah, that old chestnut. Because equally, right at the back, and you become the old bullet. They just steam through, or you get a star or something like that. You've had a terrible run
Lightning
of it.
followed by star.
Oh,
You're a cock.
yeah.
It sounds like you like pick up and play games.
Yeah.
You haven't gone for like story driven.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so thanks, guys, for your choices. Very nerdy, really appreciated. And with that note, let's get on with the film review.
On with the review.
Okay, so this week we've decided to review the Disaster movie from 2008 because it's been an absolute disaster without our co-host Ben here, and he is a disaster.
Sorely missed.
So, plot from IMDb is, over the course of one evening, an unsuspecting group of 20-somethings find themselves bombarded by a series of natural disasters and catastrophic events. This was written and directed by Jason Friedman and Aaron Seltzer. The film stars Matt Lanter as Will, Vanessa Lachey as Amy, who now hosts Love is Blind, and, I'm not making this up, Gary G. Thang Johnson as Calvin. That's what it's credited as on IMDb.
Can you imagine the parents submitting that?
Gary G.
What would you
Thang,
want to call your child?
Gary G.
obviously. It also stars Carmen Electra and Kim Kardashian. This film was rated as the #1 worst movie of all time by Rotten Tomatoes, and it was rated as #1 worst film on IMDb for the 4 months after its release until it was dethroned by Sweetie Pie, a film which starred Paris Hilton. Do you want to have a guess at what its budget was?
£7.50.
£7.50.
Tops.
I bet it's surprisingly high because of the amount of people that are in it.
And the amount of copyright.
1.5 mil.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, probably if we're doing sensible guesses.
Yeah.
It was 2008. People had money to burn.
I'm going 3 million.
Its budget was 20 million.
And it shows with all those A-listers and special effects.
Yeah, man.
It struggled to make back that budget, and it only...
Did it nearly?
It made 14 million domestic and 31 million worldwide.
That is actually much better than I thought it would be.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It's more than it deserves.
Okay.
No spoilers.
So, what did we think of this? Rob, you go first.
Look, I try and find the good in most things.
Yeah, let's start with the positives.
Let's start with the positives. Well, it was a short runtime. Okay. That's one of the positives.
Cheap.
Yeah. No, it was like, yeah. What
Is that it?
the thing is,
Help me out, guys.
Come on, I'm
The
drowning.
costumes were very appropriate for the time.
Oh, okay. So, see now, as a man of a certain age, very much appreciated the amount of open
Deep V's.
deep V shirts with a t-shirt underneath and the cuffs rolled up above the shoulder. That is my style to this day. So yeah, I appreciated that. It's in that whole pantheon of that Scary Movie kicked off. Like it's meant to be a thing, parodying a thing. It's just like it didn't need to be done. I don't know how many of them there are. How many, like, because we were saying about there's like Date Movie and other ones like that.
So the writers that wrote this actually wrote Epic Movie and Date Movie and Scary Movies as well.
At what point should they have just been told no?
Yeah.
I really liked Scary Movie. I know that's not why we're here.
I did a comparison. So Scary Movie is a parody movie, but also has its own plot that carries it through it. Mm-hmm. This is just a scene by scene by scene. It's like skits. Yeah. It was like literally joke here, and then for no reason we're here doing this joke, and then for no reason we're here doing this joke.
My overall review of it was a number of scenes looking for a story. Like that, that's what it is. Like they understand the flow of a film. Like they knocked it out of the park with Scary Movie, and then I imagine this was the last one in the string of the other parody franchises.
But Harry, what are your thoughts?
I absolutely fucking loved it. Now, I feel that there is 3 brackets. There's good films, there's bad films, and there's bad films that are so bad that they then come back around to being good. Because it's so terrible that you can't help but laugh at how shit it is. Like, how did it get made? Who laid this script down? And someone, somewhere, would have lost their job going, yeah, that's good. Do that.
I do wonder, how would you explain the concept of this film for it to be made? Because, like you say, it's sketch to sketch to sketch. How do you explain the plot to someone?
I think because at the time, spoof movies were just hot. There were so many Scary Movies. There was Epic Movies. There did Date Movie, whatever. There were so many that I think they were like, it's like a Scary Movie, and it will make money. And it did okay, considering.
Is this one of those examples where enough's enough? Like, you don't need to make another one?
No, bring it
Marvel.
The special effects were shocking. The jokes were shocking. They're dated. They're sexist. It was horrific.
We need to discuss the sexual assault.
I don't even think it was acceptable when it came out. Like, you can watch films from the 70s and go, "Oh, that's not aged well." This film's not even that old.
I'm very pleased to have another woman on the podcast on this episode. Vic, what did you think of the sexism?
I've actually written down Dr. Phil ? Why is sexual assault funny? It wasn't funny. There's a party scene where he's going around kissing all these women and like making really
but for no joke, right?
It wasn't funny. What did Dr. Phil do to these writers? Is there any controversy around Dr. Phil that they felt that they needed to enlighten in this film? I don't know. And it went on for too long. It wasn't just like a quick
slap of the arse and move on.
Yeah.
Let it linger. Absorb it.
It was really awful, wasn't it?
I also have to say that there were some really uncomfortable moments where one of them's looking up one of the women's skirts.
Yeah,
she looks down at him, looking up her skirt,
and
sort of chuckles and looks at him like, "Oh, what a scamp."
Yeah, I don't understand why he could teleport.
The film Jumper,
yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, I didn't make that connection. Yeah. Didn't know that film.
You might not have thought that the sci-fi film Jumper was going to be parodied in the film specifically parodying disaster movies. But yeah, it turns out that it doesn't need to be a disaster movie to be parodied in the film Disaster Movie.
Right, I
which
see.
is one of my bugbears with this film.
It's only a small one.
It's only a tiny one.
I want to just add one more point on the sexism in this film.
Oh, yeah.
For me, the women were completely just replaceable. They didn't really matter. Poor Kim K. She got asteroided, immediately replaced by the Cinderella woman. He couldn't care less, could he?
Top billing on this film should have been Kim K's boobs.
Oh, another deep V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they used any shot to show them off.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
And the softcore porn fight,
Oh, the wrestling show.
The wrestling show.
Yeah,
What
that
was
was
that
ridiculous.
about?
The passing of the torch.
It's passing of the torch.
From one home to another.
That was just, that was deeply uncomfortable.
Again, went on for too long.
I think
the
that's
point
part
is-
of its charm.
It's not charming, Harry.
There was one moment in this film, I think we were watching it like 10 minutes in, and I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like, I couldn't follow the plot at all. And some of the sequences didn't make sense with the random parodies thrown in there. And was it a dream sequence? Is this really happening? I didn't know what the fuck was going on for most of the time.
I mean, how he didn't notice Flavor Flav and another lad in bed between him and his girlfriend.
That's another one of my questions. I've written, why is Flavor Flav there? He's not a parody.
So random.
He is a real person.
This is one of those movies that I'd question if it were funny, even if it, like, you cut it down and put the clips on TikTok or something. Like, that's the only way I could relate it to something that would be relevant.
Right, I'm telling you now, you could clip the bit where the boy's like, Hancock, you've got to help me. And he literally just wakes up and drunkenly slaps
Backhands
the
him.
child so hard.
You love
He
that
flies. And I was like, it's so terrible. You can do the editor looks like they've just like cut out the boy's figure, turned it to 45 degrees and just dragged him off the screen.
That was one of your laugh out loud moments. What were the others?
Oh my God. Do you know what? There was a few that just got me. The chipmunks. Yeah.
No, what ludicrous.
And they go like, we the chipmunks. They go like heavy metal and they're just like demon-eyed. And
That was probably the funniest moment of the whole film for me. The chipmunks. And also, you really like the Cinderella lady as well.
oh, the crack lady.
Yeah.
Ella
Yeah, she was
Enchanted.
funny. When she's like, I couldn't barely walk in these shoes, and you're expected to be uncomfortable, and it's just like shards of glass stuck in her foot. And I was like, that's a good joke. Oh, no, the cows. The cows absolutely got me. When it's like the end one, when the Hulk's there, and they're like, well, at least he didn't get done by a cow, and out of nowhere, a cow just smashes into him. And it's just this really bad plastic cow.
And it just keeps going on and on and on.
I think the cow makes a fourth appearance, doesn't it, later on?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I did appreciate that when the cow hit Iron Man, it turned
into
into
a
a can. But again, it's like half a second that is on screen that it's a can. Like they take the actual good jokes, they go, fuck it.
Yeah.
They're done.
Move on.
Yeah.
I think I would have had a different reaction to this film had I watched it with somebody else.
Okay.
I had to watch it on my own, and I watched it at about 7 a.m. this morning because of diary commitments. And Rob watched it by himself last night. As a boy who enjoys boy films, I can imagine him giggling watching it.
Oh yeah, there's lots of giggles.
But this morning, I did not find it funny.
Did you, okay, I'll ask you this. Did you go into this movie knowing what it was going to be? Like, did you realise it was going to be a bad movie?
I did not know what to expect.
Okay.
I saw 90 minutes in 2008 and thought, this will be all right.
So I was well prepared for this. So I knew I was going to be watching a shit film. So I had no expectations. I was, in fact, really looking forward to like a shit film that was just going to make me laugh because of how terrible it was. And it did exactly what I wanted it to.
I thought it was going to be so bad it was good, like you say, but that's an hour and a half I'm never getting back in my life.
There's nuance is not a word for this film. It's definitely, you're getting what you're getting. I mean, one of the things I did enjoy, like I said, like the small jokes, the little jokes, whatever. The heavy metal chipmunks, and then they start eating Juno's spine.
Yeah.
They're eating her through her back. for some reason. One of them just says, tasty vertebrae. That got me. Because that is the warped mind of someone who's just... I hope that was an ad-libbed line from a puppeteer.
If we're talking about moments that made us laugh, there was one standout moment for me, out of two, that made me laugh. And it was when Hannah Montana was dying underneath the asteroid and she kept waking back up. And then her wig fell off and Kim Kardashian goes, "Oh, it's Miley Cyrus." That did make me laugh.
My first note is, even from the beginning, it looked like it was done on Microsoft PowerPoint.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's how good the effects were. And the Amy Winehouse moment, the only reason why I can think that that might have been funny is because that is the view that Americans have of British teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'd just like to disprove that fact. I can say my teeth don't look like that. The rest of you, though, hideous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Years of orthodontic work to get into.
They call me the can opener.
Vic, what were your overall thoughts to this film?
It's one of those films that I can say I've watched.
It is a film.
I understood it. I didn't need to ask any questions. And I don't need to watch it again.
Okay.
I think it's like a Schindler's List of its time.
I mean, do you think that this film was terrible to begin with, or do you think it's gotten even worse because the references are no longer current?
I mean, yeah, both.
I did start having a little competition with myself going, how many more films can you spot? And then I was making up connections just because I knew I was watching a parody film. I don't even know if they meant to do that, and I've made the connection myself. But I was just pulling things out going, oh, that was in that film, so maybe that's a connection they meant to put in.
I think that's the problem with doing a spoof film, is that you timestamp your film.
Yeah.
And that's great there and then, and if you watch it in the year or two afterwards, who's seen 10,000 BC, right? Who was born after the year 2000? No one. No one's heard of that.
You were
film.
there at the time.
I was with Amy Winehouse. We was there. And that is the problem. Older movies like Scary Movie, especially the first one, I feel like you could watch that now, and even though you might not get all of the references, it's funny enough to carry it, and you don't care so much. This solely and shamelessly just relies on skit after skit after skit, shamelessly being like, do you remember Hellboy? Hellboy's in it. Batman, he's in it. Gladiators, they're in it.
Yeah, that Gladiator bit right at the beginning.
Straight off the punch, like... Let's just have Wolf from the Gladiator. Why? Why?
Because it's funny.
Is it?
Did you not get the joke?
No, apparently not.
Because 10,000 BC, there'd be wolves.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that what it
Is that
is?
what it is?
Right.
No, I've absolutely completely flagged that, but you all bought it.
One of the things that they did was they had Amy Winehouse open a laptop, and there was a calendar, and in the calendar had rehab 3 times, right? They didn't put cancelled or rejected or anything like that.
To do the lyrics.
To do with the lyrics. They just had like, oh, she's got the word rehab in it. It's like rehab, end of the world, right? Fine. But it's like, if you're going to have a calendar, that's her main thing. So make that joke rather than a loosely based on poor teeth saber tooth.
Half-assed, yeah.
Yeah.
How soon before or after did she die when this film came out?
I think she watched this film and then killed herself. No amount of rehab is getting me over this. I'm going to sign off here.
Because obviously it would be in extreme bad taste if it was after she died. Because it was around then that she died.
She died in 2011.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right,
3 years before she died. Yeah.
Okay, I feel slightly better.
Yeah, I like the level of detail you've gone into to see what the calendar entries were.
Did you not see it?
No.
Like, there's 3 things written in the well, there's 4.
Yeah.
And 3 of them are rehab.
This is why you didn't find it funny. You just
Yeah.
looking at surface level, it's deeper.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
critical eye on this thing.
That 6-minute High School Musical skit, hilarious.
Wow.
Do you know what? Actually, joking aside, that number was the dancing was actually quite good.
Pretty massive.
I was like, actually, because I was thinking as well, they've paid people to come in, and study dance and do the choreography with the actors. This would have taken effort.
Yeah, most of their budget must have been blown on copyright, right? Because the songs are exactly the same, the looks.
Yeah, they're even called they've got Wildcat.
Oh, they're called Mild Cats.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Fair enough.
I thought that was quite good.
I also really appreciated the Sex and the City girls. Sarah Jessica Parker looks exactly like Sarah Jessica Parker. She does. She looks like a horse face. She's BoJack Horse.
I really like the... we got really confused with the Cinderella dance scene when she was doing the break dancing, and then we were like, but you can see trainers, you can see hairy legs, you can see tattoos, and then
You can see
just
the black man.
and then we were like, oh, it's just a man, okay. Right.
But do you know what? That I actually quite enjoyed that joke because at the end they had them side by side because they were clearly making it obvious that it was a stunt, stand-in, and then they were like, "There's them together." I quite like that. I thought, "Oh, that's stupid. That's fun."
A reference to Step Up to the Streets, which I quite enjoyed. Yeah.
And that also used to crack me up. After they do the dance off and like the apocalypse is happening, and then the Prince Charming character's like, "Nope, she's all yours," and just jumps back into the sewers. I was like, that's such a male thing to do.
Do you think this movie is called the disaster movie because the plot is loosely themed around a disaster, or that it is such a disaster? Because the parodies in it aren't all about disaster movies or disasters. There's Justin Timberlake's in it randomly.
Yeah.
Two things can be true.
I think the idea was it was supposed to be a parody of a disaster movie, and things just got away with it, and it's become a disaster.
Okay.
I think it was a happy accident.
And now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
What is the main disaster? It's the day after tomorrow, isn't it?
So it starts off with a earthquake or some shit, as the radio says. There's an earthquake or some shit, and then they go outside.
It's Twisters.
And there's a twister.
And then the big frost.
There's the big frost from Day After Tomorrow. Oh no, sorry, they go outside and there's asteroids. And then I think it's the big frost, and then I think it's the twister.
It's all because they stole the crystal from Indiana Jones.
Crystal Skull, yeah.
That's where the budget went. The guy from Me, Myself and Irene.
But they've also managed to somehow convince Carmen Electra to be in this film. Again, I just don't understand, like, maybe it was just a thing of the time. We've got this parody movie coming out. Do you want to be in it?
I don't think anybody explained any of the plots. They said, this is
Turn up on the day.
This is another scary movie. Do you want to be in it? And they went, yeah, sure.
Yeah. What will I be doing? Well, you'll be doing this incredibly sexist wrestling scene.
Well, I think there's a reason
sexy
why...
wrestling scene?
That's exactly what I said.
yeah, sure.
I think there's a reason why a lot of the people who acted in this film haven't gone on to do big things. I think the big, Kim K aside, didn't get famous from this film. It was from a different film. I haven't seen that film, wife over there.
Ironically, she's probably the biggest thing of this movie now. Apart from Carmen Electra.
But the only one that's gone on to do anything was the guy who turned up in different costumes. He was the gladiator. He was the King Arthur.
Beowulf.
Oh yeah, Beowulf.
What I really liked was that he started off sounding a bit like Ray Winston, because Ray Winston did Beowulf in whatever that came
The CGI shitfest.
Yeah. And then by the end of it, he just sounded like Steve Irwin / generic Australian.
Why wasn't there a sequel?
Do you think there'd need to be a sequel?
Even more disaster movie.
You could have tried and make that sequel today.
I genuinely think me, you and Ben and £45 budget could attempt it.
There may be a hefty legal bill, but we'll give it.
No. It would be called like the Avengers or something.
That's where he is right now. He's getting us funding.
Yeah.
For
Just asking someone for £45.
He can't.
I'll give you £45.
He can't talk about it.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to your comment about the only good, like, people's careers have gone on from this, or, the guy that is in everything. The main guy in it, Matt, I've forgotten his surname. When he came on the screen at the very, very beginning, all Tarzan-esque, like caveman running through didn't recognise him. And then when he woke up from his dream and he was in bed, this might not mean anything to you guys, but he was in a show called 90210.
Oh, yeah.
And I was absolutely in love with him in that. And then I saw this, I was like, oh, great. He's a good-looking chap. This is going to be a laugh.
He wouldn't let me down.
He won't let me down. And then I was like, oh, he's a bit of a wuss, isn't he?
Bit of a prick, really.
Yeah.
Again, he treats his girlfriend as absolute
Yeah.
shit. He's like, whatever, I'm done with you on the phone. And then she's like, oh, I still love you. Absolutely shocking. Matt Lanter.
Matt Lanter.
I mean, some of my key points where I really quite enjoyed it. Shirt over t-shirt. Classic. When Hannah Montana / Miley Cyrus is being unveiled, she mentions that she's got a line of lingerie with Target. And she says, check out my MySpace to see the official launch. I was like, yes, please. Love a bit of MySpace. And then also flip phones. Flip phones made an appearance in this. Which
Yeah.
I like.
In the burger.
Yeah, the Juno burger.
Yeah, Juno burger. Yeah, that was a flip phone. And there was the weird advert. They did a couple of weird advert breaks.
Yeah.
So part of the film's plot is that she doesn't hear him say, I love you over the phone because the phone call drops.
Yeah.
But it's written into it because it's like, drop
Drop call, yeah.
Drop call can really ruin a conversation. And it's like, okay, so you wanted that to fuel the plot, but you didn't know how to you couldn't have had something knock it out of his hand. The ending, rather than any of the natural disasters actually being, like, obviously they're put an end to because the Crystal Skull is replaced. Classic. Fine, I understand that. But there's no sort of, like, resolution. They just get married in a guru sketch.
Yeah.
And then to wrap up the whole film, there's a pop punk song. It's just a pop punk song which everybody gets involved in.
I thought it was I'm fucking Matt Damon.
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah.
It was a parody of a parody song.
Yeah.
I was a parody of a parody song.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, fine. That makes complete sense then. That's absolutely fine.
Rob's been searching for that song on Spotify ever since.
I've been distancing myself from everything that's happened in this
It's
film.
ruined his search history. I'm fucking Matt Damon.
Yeah, do you remember that song?
I do remember it, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you ladies might not like this joke, but I particularly liked the Juno joke between her and her boyfriend when he basically is like, yeah, I could just get a whisk and I will just throw it up there. And I was just like, oh my fucking God. It's like, don't hold back.
Yeah.
Don't hold back.
No, but that's like, there was no consistency, was there? There was really brutal, awful jokes and then some that just didn't land at all. But the Juno character was really annoying.
Oh,
The
yeah.
hand movements.
It's been a while since I've watched Juno, so, maybe I'm misremembering, but she was making that character out to be an absolute arsehole the entire time, I thought.
I've never seen it, to be fair.
Oh,
It's Michael Cera, isn't it?
Yeah.
The guy they got playing him,
looks very similar.
very similar.
Yeah,
casting.
But would never have said anything about a whisk.
Oh, no.
He would not have said that.
Just before we get into trivia, we need to see whether we give it Nan approval. So because there are 4 of us here today, if there are 3 or more of us that give us approval, who knows? Then it has official Nan approval. So we'll start with Harry. What are you giving it?
I can't fundamentally give this Nan approval, but there is a place for this film. If you like terrible films, you should watch it.
Okay, Vic?
It's a no from me.
Absolutely, fundamentally no.
No.
No Nan approval, Rob?
No, I mean, like Harry says, there's a place for everything in this world, and sometimes those places are bins.
Yeah. Do you think this would be a straight to DVD release if it came out now?
It wouldn't be made now.
No, not
I'd be
at all.
straight to YouTube.
Yeah. The joke's on us because we had to pay to rent this film on Amazon Prime, so we've only funded the beast.
I reckon they got an alert on Amazon. They're like, someone did it. Someone paid for it. The idiots.
That's 20p each, yay! And I agree with all of you, of course. Not Nan approval from me, so it's absolutely unanimous. That's 90 minutes of my life I'm never getting back.
Plus the hour and a half we spoke about it here. It's the film that keeps on giving.
So we'll get into some trivia. So how many parodies do you think were in this film?
But I thought there was 21. Yeah.
But there's got to be little nods and stuff, right? 33.
I'm going to go... Loads of them I wouldn't have picked up on, but I reckon there was more, so I'm going to go 40.
Yeah, I'm sticking with 21. That's what I'm...
42 parodies.
Wow.
42 parodies. There is a list online if you want to go through all of them. Of course, I'm not going to list them here. So when it came out, there was a famous film critic called Louis Ferret, if I'm nice.
You idiot.
Love Louis III, who was so furious after he saw the film. He said it insulted his intelligence, the intelligence of the American people, and the intelligence of cinema. Oh, wow. And I think that's quite accurate, to be fair. I'd agree with that.
I think he needs to fucking lighten up.
Many of the films that were spoofed in this movie had not yet been released when the script was written. So the ideas were based on the film trailers.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
That's a hard sell when people won't have seen the thing that it's parodying.
I'm guessing they might have seen it when it came out, but the reference was only based on the trailer. I'm assuming that would have been things like Iron Man, maybe. When did that come out?
Would have been about that time.
Yeah. And yet that was one of the better moments, so...
Are you saying we have to watch it again to see if we can spot all 47 nods, 42 nods?
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. We mentioned Kim Kardashian, and I think potentially, apart from Carmen Electra, she was probably, ironically, the biggest person in this film now. In 2017, she gave an interview where she referenced this film, and she said she absolutely despises it now, especially her character's death scene. But she felt she was only in it to be sexy and quickly killed off as part of a punchline, despite playing one of the main characters. She said that she feels great shame for agreeing to appear in it.
I'm telling you now, had she not gone on to be a maybe billionaire, you know, if she had just did that film and then not done that, she would have clung on to this and been proud.
Oh, she would have been one of the ones clapping that you guys paid.
Yeah,
However much you paid for it.
I feel really bad for her because I think probably...
she's doing all right.
That's true, I don't feel that bad. But at the time, I can imagine, because I don't think she was big back then, and she certainly hasn't had a glow up when this film's happened. Not to say that she isn't beautiful.
She is beautiful in this film,
but she's not the Kim Kardashian we know now. And I can only imagine that they were like, "Do you want to be in this film?" And she was like, "Me in a film? Great, yeah, let's do it."
I wonder if at this point she was still Paris Hilton's assistant.
That's exactly what I was saying to Harry. Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe it was her. Yeah, maybe it was her going, "Oh, this is my breakaway. Now it's my turn."
Okay, and the last bit of trivia I have for you is a backlash was already forming against Friedberg and Seltzer in the wake of Epic Movie, which was written before this movie, due to the belief that they made formulaic movies, which, according to critics, were blatant at being nothing more than a juvenile finger pointing at an image or mention of a popular trend. When Disaster Movie was released, the backlash came into full force, bombed at the box office, and since, Friedberg and Seltzer have struggled to get major studio backing, and ultimately they haven't released a film since 2015.
What was that film?
So that film was Vampires Suck, was their last movie.
Another parody?
Another parody.
Oh my God, they're still giving them work.
They've never made one since, so it sounds like this was on the road to destroying their careers.
Oh well.
Feel bad now, don't you?
No, I didn't make it. I'm backing them.
I think if you want to save time and not listen to this entire podcast, reading that review of formulaic, whatever it was, is pretty much the sum up of the last couple of hours.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because now nostalgia is so big, and a lot of humour, and not even just humour, but a lot of massive popular culture is all like, oh my God, remember the 80s? You know, Stranger Things is a huge nod to nostalgia and stuff like that. This film just does that, but fucking terribly.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it.
Are you calling for a remake?
Remake, reimagining, sequel. I want toys, I want merchandise.
I think we should a reverse Disney, where they take all of these live action things and turn them into animated.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So, thanks Vic and Rob for joining us on this week's episode. We've been Nerds Against Normality. Thanks for hanging with us. Catch all of our latest episodes every Wednesday wherever you get your podcast from. Please follow, rate, like us on social media for more exclusive content. And if you have a question or something you want us to review, please email us at nerdsagainstnormalitypod@outlook.com. Thank you, bye!
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.